Okay, we're back from that commercial break. Um, so one of my first videos I ever did was a video on some castings. Uh, they're urethane castings of some paleo artifacts, and this is part two. This is the other group of castings that I have. Um, and these have come from a couple other sources. The only thing in here that's by Lithics Casting Lab with Pete Bostrom is this little Scotts Bluff Cody dart. I would call this. That's what I think these are. These smaller Scotts Bluffs are Cody style darts. Um, and that's the only one in this whole frame that's from Lithics Casting Lab. Um, The other ones are from a couple different groups. These two groups here, these are from a I can't recall the name of the guy, but he does castings out of Virginia. That's where this Cumberland point came from. This is supposedly a Barnes style point, which is kind of found in the Great Lakes area. It's a Paleo Clovis variant. And then these are Crowfield um, Clovises. Um, Not so sure that this is a Crowfield. It might be. Actually, I think it is. It's kind of got that. If you look at it, I was describing it on one of the chats. Crowfield points usually have this S kind of a curve. They're not perfectly straight. They kind of curve from one way and then they swing out and they curve the other way. They're kind of wonky. And they generally have a narrow base to them like this, and then they flare out way above the hafting area and then come back in. So this is a very large example of a Crowfield point, or it might be a St. Louis style Clovis knife. The only reason I have questions about whether it's a Crowfield point or not for sure is because this one was cast from an original in Kentucky. And to my knowledge, I don't think the Crowfield style of point was found in that area. They tended to be found in the Great Lakes area, up into New York, Vermont, Ontario, Canada. So for something like this to be found in a place like Kentucky that far south is kind of unusual, but I'm not ruling it out. Could very well be from there. Um, so that is a Crowfield. I've got a better one in my other frame that's from New York. This one's, like I said, it's kind of questionable. This is a Crowfield that's heavily exhausted, and it looks like they may have had to do some additional fluting on it because the base is so concaved. But then a lot of your eastern Clovis types, like from the Vale site in Maine, and the Debert site, Debert Clovises they call them, the Lamb site over in I believe that was New York, and then the Sugarloaf site in Massachusetts. They all have those Clovises have this very deeply concaved base to them, very deeply concave, very long kind of ears on the sides, and so this is supposedly a Crowfield also, and I have to think it might very well be because it is kind of narrow down here, and then you can see it gets wide, and this one was heavily resharpened. Um, Probably at this point, it was probably just a little attached to a shaft and probably like a skinning knife or something of that sort. So those are these four pieces right here. This Cumberland, these two Crowfields, and this Barnes are from that place. I'll have to look it up. It's the guy that does the casting. He's from Virginia. Um, and then the other weird oddball in his frame, besides the one from Lithics Casting Lab and from this other lab in Virginia, this is a Clovis that was found on the Upper Platte River in I think Colorado maybe. But this is from a casting place. They're called Mammoth Run Lithics, and they do a lot of very good castings. I've only ordered like one, maybe two pieces from them. Actually, I think the two that I ordered from that location is this little Folsom Point right here. Beautiful long flutes on it. Hope you can see that in the picture. Beautiful there. And then this Clovis. But that was from Mammoth Run Lithics. And I'll probably try and post that in the information and description of the video later for you. Moving along, a lot of the other castings in the frame are all from Stonehenge Museum Supply. And that's a guy, I think his name is Sterling. He's out of Texas. And he does an excellent job. And in all these castings, I love the Clovis points. So I have an assortment of Clovises here. This one here was found in, I believe it was Missouri or Illinois. A woman found this out in a field right by her house. Not sure exact date or whatever, but this is a casting that Stonehenge Museum Supply did, and I ordered that one. This one is kind of unique. This is one of I think 8 Clovises that were found at the Naco mammoth kill site. Well, that wasn't a kill site necessarily. From what I've been reading on it, Naco was a site that they found a mammoth carcass. And I don't believe it showed any cut marks or butcherings on it, but the mammoth skeleton that they found there had 8 Clovises in it. So I'm believing that maybe they had attacked a mammoth and it ran off. It was wounded. It ran off, and for some reason they weren't able to find it. So this is a casting of one of the Clovises from the Naco mammoth site. Like I said, as far as I remember, it's not a confirmed Clovis mammoth kill site because I don't believe they did any butchering. These were just found in and around the skeletal remains of the mammoth when they found it. But very beautiful Clovis there. This one here, this is from the famous Blackwater Draw site, which actually is the name site or the actual known site for the Folsom points. There was a Folsom site on Blackwater Draw, and there was also a Clovis component or Clovis site. And this is a classic Western style Clovis with the moderately concave base, very beautiful broad percussion flaking, nice fluting going up through there. But that was from the Blackwater Draw site. These other Clovises here, this one, and this one here, these 3 were found in Texas. This is a beautiful Clovis, real nice style. A little bit more concave than the most Western style Clovises, which is kind of unique. But when you flip this thing over, it's got an impact fracture right there. Appears that it must have hit something and fractured, and then it looks like they had went through and did some secondary retouch and refurbished the point. But very unique Clovis. Got some really wide, long flutes on the one side. The other side is just kind of a multiple flute pattern. There's a little one here and one over here, kind of going up on it. But yeah, those Clovises, I love them. They're one of my favorites as far as paleo points. But I am starting to get to like the Scotts Bluffs and the Edens and that sort of thing. So now moving along here, this is I believe what they call a Holland point, and they're part of the late Paleo period. They would probably be similar in association with Dalton points. Just kind of the way the shapes of them are. But there's that one there. That's a Holland point. This is a point, and I hope I don't butcher the name of it. It's a point type from Texas. They sometimes refer to them as Angostura, but this is what they call a Gorgondrina point, I believe. I'm sure it'll be in those books if you look it up. I don't know what the name of the book is. Patrick and Sal has that book. It's all Texas projectile points and artifacts. But yeah, this one's beautiful. It's got some very nice flaking all the way across on the from edge to edge. Very thin, and you can see it's kind of similar to something like a Dalton would be. Um, this is a Dalton here, by the way. This is a Greenbrier variety of Dalton, and this was found. The original was found on the Olive Branch site. Um, so that's a very famous Dalton site, and they found this style of Dalton, what they call the Greenbrier, I believe, and then they found just some more Daltons that kind of look like these 2 points here. So there's that, and then here's an assortment of Scott's Bluffs. And this is what's kind of weird. The Scott's Bluffs that I've ordered from Pete Bostrom, I think are they're like a Cody's complex, because that's what the Scott's Bluff is. It's kind of the late Paleo Cody complex culture of points. And I think these were dart points, the ones that I mostly got from Pete Bostrom. They're smaller, but these Scott's Bluffs, these are from Texas, and these are quite considerably large. And so I'm not sure if they would have been used on a atlatl dart system, or if they were just hand thrown spears. And as large as these are, they could very well have been used as knives also, I'm thinking, because of how big they are. But there's one that's got some beautiful parallel flaking on it. This one is also a Texas Scott's Bluff, and it is extremely large. And the thing you notice a lot on these Scott's Bluffs is they had this diamond cross section to them. If you slice this in half and looked at the end of it, on each end, it would be kind of shaped like a diamond. Very thick in the middle, and then flared out to the edges, a nice thin cutting edge. Again, this one's got some nice parallel transverse flaking going across, but I imagine they probably used a variety of different styles. They probably did flaking this way, they did random flaking, and other different varieties of that, or combination of. But that's a huge Scott's Bluff right there. That's probably Georgetown, Flint, I would think. Not sure about this one from Texas. That's kind of a it's kind of a patinaed tannish, tan yellowish colored material. I don't know that much about Texas, lithic types, except for like the Georgetown and the root beer varieties. This one here, this Scott's Bluff, is also from Texas, and it's fairly translucent. You can probably see some of that translucency in the tip and that in there. But this one is, I would believe this is probably root beer chert, the original one. But the guy who makes these, he did a very good job of mixing the colors to get that to match. All of these, he's done a very good job with matching up the colors. So I would have to say that Stonehenge, Museum Supply, and Mammoth Run lithics, and Pete Bostrom from Lithics Casting Lab, those three guys have got it down as far as mixing the pigments and colors into the urethane to make the casting of the points. This other guy from Virginia, he does a good job. I mean, he does very good silicone rubber molds that really pick up the flaking, but the color matching is a little to be desired there. I'm sure he's probably new at it and he's probably going to be improving, his techniques as he goes along, as we all do with any skill we pick up. But yeah. And then I got a couple of Folsom points. This one's from Stonehenge Museum Supply, and I'm guessing that that's probably some sort of a exotic material from Colorado. I think that's where this one was from, from Colorado. And again, I'm not real familiar with all of the materials that are out west, but that kind of looks to me like maybe some sort of a um, uh, like a jaspery kind of chert, or an agate type of a chert of some sort, agate material. And this is another little Folsom. This one I believe is from Texas someplace. Kind of looks like it could be Edwards Plateau or Georgetown, probably Georgetown, some variety of that. It's very, very translucent, as you can see. Beautiful point. And then this one, this is a unique point. I just never heard of this point before, and I'm not sure if they're actually paleo. I believe they're early archaic, but it's called a St. Mary's Hall point. And they're found in Texas, kind of in a small area of Texas. They're not very widespread, but they just have these very delicate ribbon, um, parallel transverse flaking on them. They're very thin, kind of, too, for their size and in shape. And this one's out of a very translucent material. This could very well be a type of root beer also. But that's a casting of a St. Mary's Hall, which is also another favorite of mine. I like all of these. That's the problem. But anyhow, hope you enjoyed this video of these castings. And I'll probably either post in the description of the video, the location, the address, or the contacts for these different people that cast these artifacts. But I'll probably put that in there. And a lot of these guys, I know Mammoth, or Stonehenge Museum Supply. He does more than just paleo castings. He does some archaic stuff. He does all the classic Texas projectile points and spears and knife points. He does the corner tanged knives. He does the Frios and the Montels and the Andice points. So he has probably the best selection of stuff from the southwestern United States, those Texas and beyond type of points. So anyhow, hope you enjoy it. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I appreciate it very much. And like I said, as I get better at filming and doing that stuff, like I said, I'll be doing more videos and trying to improve on the techniques. I'm just trying to find out how to get a boom arm camera holder that I can mount onto a tripod, and I can extend it out over and above, the work pieces that I'm taking pictures of. So hopefully that'll make things a little bit easier and a little bit better there. So anyways, hope you enjoyed, and hope to see you on the next ones that I put out. Thank you.